And welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. I'm here with my idiot producer, Charlie. Dumbest producer in the whole land.
Not pictured.
Colorized 1941.
Yeah, here's an animation of... Here's a visual representative. What's that, a sketch drawing? Like a police sketch
like police
drawing?
sketch, yeah.
You can knock that up, can't you, Charlie?
Yeah, come on, whip that out.
You're going to have to knock it up if you're looking stupid as well.
Yeah.
Do it if you like drooling. And
now, Charlie has a lot of jobs,
pie.
and he's bad at all of them. That's what's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Because his first Google of today is Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah,
There's nothing
what's that
nothing on the docket.
Well, I thought that was what kind of the sort of vibe of what you wanted me to draw.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
I think it is, actually.
Should we start off with an apology, I reckon?
A couple.
Yeah. Which one do you want to start with? I think we'll start with a conker.
We'll start with the conkers. We never really take pride in bringing you up to date or even relevant or factually correct news stories.
Yeah.
But it seems we missed the mark on the conker one. It was wrong.
Well, it was all of our faults, but I think mainly Charlie's.
This one was. We've got a couple of blame. We've got some blame cards to hand out. The first one we're handing out to Charlie.
Yeah. Well, why are you blaming Charlie? What's Charlie's fault in this?
So the conker, I still don't really understand what happened because all I know was from the podcast we did, which was just factually incorrect. But so it wasn't the guy that we were looking at and pulled up videos of wasn't American. He's actually quite a classic English.
One of the most English-looking men ever. And one of the other photos on his Google images is him wearing a hat with loads of
England flag on it. Now, I'd argue that's for Charlie to maybe just have a look at the video and check during it. And even when we put the clip up.
But what happened was in the article, there was an American winner, and that was the woman. The female winner.
Yeah,
so on the female side.
But so
we just got that confused. It was the first American winner, and then we just ran with that. And then you went on this whole rant of how much you hate Americans.
Yeah.
It's like, American listeners, like, they had nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with it. Wait, so the
Yankee Doodle dickheads, I think you called.
Yeah, a couple of times, maybe more, maybe three. But what? So was it that the English bloke had the metal conkers?
Yeah.
Well, there's literally, you could just disregard everything we said on it.
And how long was that? And also, I think what's funny about that was originally in the Patreon.
Yeah.
And you said, that stuff's so fire, that stuff's so lit, well, you can't cut that out and swap that into the main.
Yeah. I mean, and it was lit if it wasn't factually incorrect.
That might be the only time we've ever switched something out for the Patreon to the main.
Yeah.
Much.
I do it again.
We've never done it.
I do it again.
It was completely
We literally titled the episode based on the live.
Yeah. It was completely incorrect. It was a fun ride, though. So that was all wrong.
Yep.
What else was wrong?
I want to apologise for the Al Pacino Dunkin' Donuts commercial, which I only got one comment about, but I feel I should have got more. So I kind of got away with it a little bit. It wasn't a pile on as it should have been.
No.
That we were laughing and saying, imagine doing a commercial like this. This is a ridiculous commercial. Well, yeah, that was actually the point because it was in an Adam Sandler film, Jack and Jill, where it was the whole point of it was imagine if Al Pacino had done that commercial. So hook, line, and sinker.
Yep, got us again there. Blame card distributed over there.
Well, what's interesting about this? Not only is this a fake news podcast, but it's not a spin podcast.
No, we don't really have.
We're not trying to spin the
leanings.
Truth.
No, we just don't understand.
We're passionately getting key facts wrong.
Yeah.
But sincerely, we don't think we're saying the wrong thing.
We're not meaning to. There's no insidious kind of push behind it. It's just us being stupid.
I guess what is endearing, about us is that we are very ready to apologise. We're the first people to hold our hands up and say, as a news organisation, it is quite funny to get the news wrong all the time, but always apologise immediately.
I mean,
wholeheartedly.
A lot of our viewers will be pointing the finger at us, but then there's three pointing back at them. I think.
Was Charlie one of those fingers?
No, what? No, you've heard that saying.
What's three? No.
You point a finger out and three point back at you because of that.
Oh, what? Like, I'm going to shoot you?
No.
That's two fingers.
What's two? There's three here. 1, 2, 3.
Where's the third one?
1, 2, 3. Ignore the thumb. How many fingers am I holding up?
4.
Yeah, I point one out and 3 points back at me. What's going on?
What? Do you know what he's doing?
No, I've never heard this.
You've never heard this?
But you've seen he's pointing to...
Okay, you both. This is
what
what
you're
I'm
doing
working
a gun
with. This
thing.
is why you both have blame cards from last week, and I'm fine.
You got
it's a
blame
saying
cards. You're the one who you ran with it the most
because of false information provided by Charlie. So I point out a finger. It's a saying, if you point a finger out, then there's 3 pointing back at you. So maybe you shouldn't be blaming everyone else for your mistakes. Maybe you should also look at yourself. And that's because when you point a finger, right? There's one finger pointed out, and these 3 are pointed back at you. Charlie's got a problem with it. Let's go.
Mine are pointing kind of horizontally away.
That's a great point.
But that's because you're pointing horizontally
No,
away.
if I
point
held it
straight out. Point straight out.
I curl my
now
fingers.
Look at those fingers. 3 of them are.
they're at an angle.
No, I do curl my fingers. So
Yeah,
it's
I know,
like,
but it's-
I guess
it's
the
close
saying
enough.
is more, if a finger's pointing at you, then 3 fingers are pointing like a bit to the right of you.
So it's no one's fault.
That's a great proverb.
Yeah. Let's move on. This is what I'm working in. We're going to go mad in this shed. It's getting worse every week. My point being that although we're taking most of the culpability here, I think the listeners have some sense of responsibility here. They support this.
A lot of them fund it.
A lot of them fund it. We've kind of said this many times that we're a male and physical. What is it? Mental and physical
health podcast.
I can never say
that.
We
we've said it loads, clearly.
And we've been fast and loose with the facts a lot of the time. That's just what we do.
Yeah.
So I actually think it's kind of rude when people comment correcting us. It was like you're not here for facts, and if you're here for facts, then you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So maybe look at yourselves.
Speaking of mental and physical health, how have you been?
Yeah, mentally and physically healthy. You?
Yeah, I'm mentally and physically healthy. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon I'm in a good space. I'm getting stronger every day, getting more powerful. Are you exercising, Charlie?
I was with Nigel I have a personal trainer called Nigel.
The videos are so. Can you edit in the videos of you?
I can put my testimonial in there. Yeah.
Is that the first reveal of Charlie though? Because I think we can't do that.
I can blur my face, maybe.
No, I don't
blur your face.
I don't mind.
No, I
He's
feel
not
like we need to.
Banksy.
Yeah, but we need to do.
I am Banksy.
Who's that shit?
Don't diminish him. No, I want to do some sort of big reveal at one point.
Yeah, I met Nigel this morning, and he makes me do lots of exercise, but
he is a personal trainer.
Yeah.
You're paying him.
Did you resent him for that?
You are paying him to make you do loads of exercise.
Well, sometimes I find myself kind of trying to keep him talking about life and women.
Right.
Or
what are the go-to questions?
Just like, what's your situation at the minute in terms of romance? Romantically,
I wouldn't know how to. Romantic.
10 burpees.
And
now.
he teaches children, so I ask him about how they're doing. He had a sort of domestic abuse case that came up this week.
What? Sorry, how does that come into personal training?
Because the kid who he's teaching football has not been going to school, and his parents are kind of fighting, but Nigel has to get in the middle of it because there's a kind of...
And he's strong.
He's a strong man, yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, so
we could literally push the parents off.
Yeah, exactly.
We cover all sorts of
Thank
stuff.
God he's there.
Well, a lot of the most brave men in many ways are the strong men who use it for good. There's nothing. A weak man who doesn't hurt someone. What does that mean? Like that's just you wouldn't be able to hurt someone anyway. So it's easy for you to be holier than thou. But it's a man with a lot of power and strength who decides not to use it for violence.
He's only teaching the kid football.
You know what I mean, Charlie?
Well,
I think you're right. It's just a weird thing to add to this conversation.
Nigel's mainly a peacekeeper, but he has a sort of quiet dominance. So I know I have to,
is, sort of, isn't it?
I have to do all of every single burpee.
Depending on your view of human nature.
Every single burpee, every single sit up, and I have to do it. Otherwise, he kind of looks at he puts little passive aggressive memes on his Instagram, being like when they complain, but they're paying you and stuff. So I'm
and you
quite
think he's
keen
talking
to
about you.
maybe.
Does he do comedy content as well? Sort of?
It's more like piss takey client content, but with a bit of charm.
Move.
When you say do burpees, they do farties.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
You probably want that from your personal trainer.
Yeah.
You want a bit of fear. And
Ultimately-
I've talked about this before. I do want my personal trainer to be medieval torturer garb. That's the vibe I want.
Or like a helmet and a spike.
Sort of. Well, I guess more like a sort of leather. This sort of leather,
like a hangman.
Yeah. And it's just
with a sheath.
Yeah, and I'm in a machine. It's not necessarily like a torture. It's like it is giving me exercise, but it really hurts. And it's like a guy. It's like wooden.
Yeah.
I'm like, That's what that's the relationship I want with my personal trainer. Like that with a man.
A medieval torture.
A criminal.
A
medieval torture. That dynamic is what I want.
he did make me throw up next to this creche quite recently, and
Why is everything so close to children?
I was on all fours, like spewing stuff onto the ground.
Yeah.
Vomit.
And it showed, And at the end of it was like, well, at least I tried. And then I went home.
The end of what?
At the end of the session, and that concluded the session. But I was meant to be doing boxing with him, and I was just sort of swaying and burping, but determined to carry on because I don't want him to think that I'm weak.
Yeah.
And then I just threw up on the ground.
So in answer to how are you doing, it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
How you're getting stronger, more vitality in your life.
More vitality, getting more powerful every day.
Why? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm exercising more, and it's now. I guess it's what do you do with the strength?
Yeah,
is a question I'm starting to think about more.
Yeah, the thing is, you do this
as I'm getting stronger. I think I just have to now consider my own strength.
It's a lot of responsibility to take in, isn't it?
Yeah. And these things I've never had to think about before.
Yeah.
How hard I open
because you were viewing the world in a weak man's, but now you can step into any situation and be the...
Most situations, there's still people who are stronger than me.
But not many.
Not as many as there were.
Yeah. It's been a big month for you.
Yeah, opening doors, I got to be a lot more gentle with that.
Oh, right.
I used to just... Because what's the worst that can happen?
You used to be able to not open some, and now it's just every door's open.
There's not a door in the land that can open.
Yeah. Right. Go on then. What does BGW mean? That's
the Boys Gone Wild.
Do you want to do your... Oh, you didn't want to do that now. I guess while we're on the topic of apologies, I suppose, an interesting topic to breach this week is the death of Liam Payne.
Yes, God.
Where, I was out at a swanky bar in St. Pancras. Mm-hmm. Went to go and get a round of drinks for people. Mm-hmm. And then I was one of the first to hear the news.
You told me.
I did.
You're like a town crier.
I was. He's dead!
Wait, weren't you in the clock tower of St. Pancras?
No, I was in a swanky bar in St. Pancras.
Because then you could have really announced to the whole of London.
Mid-acoustic set. Stop the guitar! There's been a death! The clock tower would have worked,
dead.
Honestly, well, there was actually there was genuinely a bell in the clock tower, so it could have gone up and stopped ringing it.
Yeah,
it would have sounded sarcastic though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure. But I was at a bar getting around it, and I was like, and then I kind of went whilst waiting for the drinks. I
Bro's Life's a movie.
Yeah, oh God, what's he gonna do next? Such an average start to a story for that. And I then went on my mobile telephone and then saw murmurings of it. And I went, this can't be true. And then looked it up on Google, typed it, and then refreshed it a few times. And there was more and more
Sidney
stories.
Sweeney nude pic.
Yeah.
You typed in.
I had to delete that from my previous. That tab was
this
already.
Can't be true.
That tab was already open. It works way more if that tab's already open, but fine. Then I kept refreshing it, and different like blogs and maybe not very verified news sources were coming in. Yeah. And as I was refreshing it, CNN dropped it, and I was like, "Well, it's official.
Yeah,
he's dead." So I messaged you.
You said I think he's dead when you messaged me. Was that in between?
That was in between. Yeah. And then CNN.
And then you're like,
I think I messaged like, "No, he's dead."
Yeah.
And it really blew me for six. I was pretty shocked, and then I kind of had to go back to the table, and I couldn't. I was a very different man. A very different man came back from the bar than who was there before. Because, I was having fun joking about, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I don't really know what to do now. I don't really know how to address this.
How did the table take it?
The table took it quite nonchalantly. I suppose they haven't had as much of a... They probably haven't thought about him / spoke about him as much as the general...
I think also people don't have the same love of news notifications as us, or like... drama in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of people I just noticed. It's like, so.
All right, yeah.
Biden.
What's it got to do with me?
Biden called Zelensky Putin. So.
Yeah. So what do you mean? No, this is.
Come on.
This is top tier stuff.
Yeah. So I found out when I just got back from Greece. Well, the thing. No, it wasn't that. It would have been because it was straight after the podcast.
It was after the podcast,
which we have a real run now of like. The big news things happened just after.
I think that was good timing.
Yeah.
I think if it had happened live on air, I don't know what we would have done with it.
I mean, that was genuinely the closest I'd come to thinking about an emergency broadcast.
Yeah,
so that did hit my mind. Thinking of this.
Should we get the boys together?
Or just a live stream react.
Yeah,
I don't know for some reason.
Well,
it just felt.
I think it felt like gravitas. I feel it felt like we needed to dive straight into it, but it was probably a good thing that it's been a week and a half since this is going to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts? What do we do with this?
I guess I think what the only interesting thing I can think of about it.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Obviously, it's obviously a very tragic story. It's quite like it's a story we've seen many times, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Too many to count.
Yeah. There you go. Compassion corner over there.
Yeah. No, you just can't count very well.
Yeah. It's like 1.
He's got dyscalculia.
3. Fuck yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is.
Let's stay on Liam Payne. Let's not do dyscalculia.
Well, it might be. It might not be. Who knows?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. We'll apologise for it next week.
I guess a lot of the sort of narrative about it. I mean, there was quite funny fake news going around. Like there was a video of someone falling off a balcony, and it was saying that it was Liam Payne. I believed it was Liam Payne. You believed it was Liam Payne.
I said it could be.
Yeah, and someone had posted it. It wasn't Liam Payne, but I do always think about someone who sees that opportunity and thinks, right, I'm going to make people think.
I've got a video of someone falling off a balcony, and they've been waiting to use it.
How about I trick people into thinking it's Liam Payne for 6 hours?
Yeah.
Before it's disproved.
Get some likes, and then it's gone. Why not?
Why not? I think a lot of the comments about it were, this is what happened. You know,
there was a lot of blame against the music industry.
The music industry, that's kind of maybe fairer. I think there's a lot of blame against the way that he'd been memed and made fun of. That, you know, and it made me start to think about our culpability.
Here we are.
You know,
here we are.
Because I think we did an episode on Liam Payne.
We certainly didn't retract from the discourse.
And I don't know if he was a listener.
Never really considered it.
It's hard to know. And we've apologised. We've apologised for the Conker Gate. We've apologised for Dunkaccino.
But we've been deadly quiet on Liam Payne.
But maybe we should apologise for the death of Liam Payne as well.
I fear that apologising makes us more guilty than we probably are.
I guess it's interesting seeing, like, when will people learn not to make fun of these people? And it's just interesting when someone dies as tragically as this and so unexpectedly, then everyone, it feels like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have made fun of him for all the ridiculous things he did.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how fair that is. Do you not make fun of someone when they do absolutely insane shit because they might kill themselves / die in an accident early?
No.
Like, no, you don't. But if they do, then it's sort of like fair play, 1-0 you.
Yeah.
Well.
But then it's not really 1-0 because then everyone else that's alive will count as a point towards making fun of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Until they die.
Yeah. So.
Well, did he? Oh, I don't know if he actually.
And everyone talking about how, like, I guess you always have a positive reading when someone dies.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, like, did he? I think I'm not entirely sure. I think he did kill himself. It's not clear because I think police reports have now come in that's saying that they jumped. But, you know, there could be some conspiracies going on.
He was so
How much
high.
do we trust the Argentinian police?
Yeah,
we know
not very
that.
Much.
We know that. All we know was that the receptionist called 999 because there was a drunken, disorderly guest who was likely on drugs. The police arrived. And then he falls off the balcony.
Yeah.
So that's the extent. So there's three options. He was either, there was a kerfuffle and he was accidentally pushed off by the police, or there was no like kerfuffle and he was just lost his bearings and fell off, or he intentionally jumped off. It sounds like he jumped off.
Yeah.
Which is...
I think it seemed like it was a very, very split second one. More so than other suicides.
Yeah.
Like it was like, you get him 30 seconds later, maybe you wouldn't have done
Absolutely,
it.
Yeah. I agree.
But there's all sorts of rumours. Like, I completely non-confirmed, but I heard he was doing crack in his room. And
I think, yeah.
So it might be
Why
that
not?
It might be that he was literally just like off his nut completely.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was.
Which means he could have, but
So
then it's...
it might not even be like a kind of suicide in the sense that he might have just been
Yeah.
like on crack and fallen off his balcony.
Well, exactly. It's one of the two.
Which is almost more, well, it's not more tragic, but...
Yeah, if there wasn't an intention, there's something sadder about it for some reason, even though it's sadder if he intended to.
Yeah.
Because that's more, it's an accident, you know.
He was
Anyway.
gearing up with more posts online as well. It felt like we were going back into another
Well,
way.
there was quite the tragic foreshadowing because he was in the news on the week when he was at Niall Horan's concert. And everyone, you know, there was the whole slating of him because he was like making it about himself or something because he was in a box, but he was leaning over the balcony, like doing all the stuff with the fans, and he's called attention seeking, and then falls off the balcony. So
because he got this new girlfriend who's an influencer, and she was posting a lot about him. So there's a lot more Liam Payne content coming through. I saw was doing the rounds, was doing his first X Factor audition. That was quite emotional to see.
Yeah, he was very cheeky. Well, rest in peace to an iconic boy gone wild.
Yeah, he really is a fallen soldier. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's it. I think we've covered it. What we needed to there. Do you want to go and do your funeral story now?
Yeah. Well, fuck.
We might as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of deaths,
it's a very bleak start to this episode. Apologies and deaths.
I didn't tell you about this on the weekend.
Me?
Yeah, because I was trying to save it for the pod.
Right.
And it's quite mad. So a family friend of ours died. So the dad of we're friends with the family, and the dad of that family died quite shockingly, like 2 months ago. And they had a funeral. Right?
Yeah.
And this was a memorial that was relaxed, but for lots of people to come to who couldn't make the funeral.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was going down. Mum had said it's very casual.
You're going down to Sussex.
Going down to Sussex. Mum had said
what day?
This was on I think this was Friday day.
Friday day.
Was saying that basically it's very casual, and his wife had basically said, like, I don't want anyone fussing about what to wear.
Yeah.
It's a really casual. Jeans are fine, trainers are fine, whatever. And I was like, you sure? Like,
yeah.
She's like, yeah, sure. That's what I've been told, you know. And I sent her a picture of my shoes. I've actually worn the outfit I wore to the funeral now.
This is what you were wearing?
This is what I was wearing.
Handy. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I did it on purpose, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just to, because...
that's a pro right there.
Yeah. And then, so I get to Mum's, and she always has like sweets on the counter.
Weird, but okay.
She's got like a jar of like sweets.
Hard.
She would often have it in the car, maybe a couple of Haribo or something. They'll just be
Haribo?
Like, sometimes she had sweets in the car, and then sometimes she brings them in and they get put in a jar.
It's quietly insidious.
Yeah.
There's something odd about it.
There is something incredibly odd.
I'd feel pretty uncomfortable.
Sweets in the kitchen cat, incredibly weird.
Yeah.
There was a packet with sour cherry, which looked mad, with someone's a cherry with its head exploding.
Whoa. Not so. Even the cherry can't take the sour.
I guess like sour sweets. Like, a lot of times I'm like, well, let's see about it then. You know, challenge accepted.
It's not the coolest catchphrase. Well, let's see about it then. Talking about fucking sweets.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like it felt like Mum had won that. Not won it, but like got it in a free thing and like a
won it. Yeah.
You know, it just didn't feel like something she'd ever get, and so I assumed it was up for grabs. So I opened it, tried one of the sour cherries, not sour at all. Right. Mum comes downstairs and says, don't eat that. Oh my God. It was her weed edibles. Right?
Oh.
So I ate a whole weed edible. I mean, we were only stopping off at the house for about 10 minutes. So I was only in there for 10 minutes and I did so much fucking damage.
Oh my goodness.
She was gone for like a couple of minutes. And I was like, oh. And it was like, this is like a bad episode of a sitcom.
Yeah.
I'm literally taking an edible.
She can't be keeping weed edibles.
Yeah, I know. Not when I'm about.
So you went to the funeral?
So we went to what I thought was a memorial.
Right.
And this is twice that I've misunderstood what a memorial is.
Yeah.
Last was, was
not that long ago at all.
Yeah. And so I clearly don't understand. I guess when I keep getting told about memorials, it just feels like we're all going to gather around in a circle and tell nice stories. It's like a whatever.
Yeah.
So we go to this memorial. It couldn't be more of a funeral. I don't think I've ever been to more of a funeral.
Was it in a church?
Church.
Oh,
suits.
What? Had your mum? What happened?
I don't know. I guess basically what happened is that his wife didn't want people to fuss, and she's very much like that.
Yeah.
But then basically wear what you want. But then everyone was like, well, it's a funeral, so what I want to wear is a suit.
Was there a...
So it wasn't like it was a big shock. It was more like everyone had chosen to wear a suit.
Was there a priest?
There was a priest.
Oh, it was a funeral.
It was a full-on funeral.
It was a full-on funeral.
Couldn't be more of a funeral.
Oh my goodness.
So they had already had one, which was like for family. So it was like a secondary one.
Yeah, but it was a funeral.
It was such a funeral.
Yeah.
It was crazy how much of a funeral it was. And then the weed starts kicking in.
Where were you?
Well, when I'm saying hi to all these people who
Did you mistake it for the Holy Ghost?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing all these family friends who I haven't seen in years, and I've never seen in the same room.
Yeah.
Fucking up small talk. Everyone's in suits. I'm dressed like I'm going to the pub. I'm literally wearing this.
Yeah. It's not acceptable, really, is it?
And
I think even in any kind of church.
I mean, it was quite a psychedelic experience, not just because of the drugs. That was the first time I'd been in a church since school for church reasons.
Yeah.
Like obviously,
church reasons.
Obviously, I knows about churches regularly. I enjoy that from a tourist perspective.
You haven't been an active participant.
I like to read a little thing about,
yes, this organ was created.
But that's not, but using it for what it's actually meant to, which we did so much.
Yeah.
It was like so overwhelming. Not only emotional because it's a funeral of a family friend.
Yeah.
And I'm very close to the children. And hearing them talk. I mean, so even though Marco, rest in peace, is Italian, the whole side of the family that he married into, like Protestant English.
Yeah, okay.
Like real stiff upper lip.
Yeah.
Very stoic.
Tudor hats. Like Anne Boleyn.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, I'm just adding tension.
Yeah, why not? So it was just one of the most English funerals.
Yeah.
In many ways. So people are just very reserved. and I'm blubbing. I am just in floods of tears because it's just so overwhelming. I'm high and I just like just doing the Lord's Prayer sets we often haven't done the Lord's Prayer.
At that point, you've got no hope whatsoever. If the Lord's Prayer is setting you off, you're fucked.
It was just so many emotions. I hadn't seen all these people before. I'm dressed like
the Lord's Prayer.
So it's like this guy, and then all of them are always fascinated that I'm a comedian because none of them are doing anything like that. So it's always you did the comedy, and this guy's come down from London. He's a comedian. He's dressed like he's going to the pub, and he's just he's high, crying his fucking eyes out.
Who is this guy?
Who the fuck is this?
I mean, the Lord's Prayer is a moment where you kind of collect yourself.
Yeah, that's
and then, because the eulogies is when you're getting hit home. So I can't imagine the feelings you were having during those.
I was crying. And we were singing hymns we haven't sung for ages. That was
But so, how much do you think the emotion was? I mean, obviously you're going to have a good amount of emotion because of the setting. But how much did the weed increase it?
I'd say 45%.
45%. So you're like crying as much as the widow.
Yeah. So it wasn't that I didn't fuck up socially too much more than I would have because of the weed. Instead, it just heightened my emotions and the music hit so much harder, things like that.
Yeah.
That's what the effect that I got from taking a fucking edible.
Which is in a way
fucking funeral.
In a way, it could have gone a fucking lot worse.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot worse.
Could have gone a lot worse.
It could have got a lot worse. But yeah, it was fucking.
Well, how strong was it? Pretty strong then. I mean,
it was fine. It was fine.
I've
had them
to
quite.
A bit of the devil's leaf.
And when I was focused on not fucking up.
Yeah,
but
that can often lead to fucking up.
Yeah, that's true. That can lead to a lot of overthinking.
It would have been a fucking nightmare if, like for me, if that had happened to me, I'm not sure I could go.
Yeah,
just I haven't had weed in ages. What a crazy time! What a crazy time to first dip back into the nectar. Well, yeah. Wait, was this so in Lewis?
Near Lewis.
In honesty, the villain of that story is your mother.
Yeah. No, she is.
So
I was actually quite upset with her.
Yeah. I would be. It'd be like, firstly, you've told me that this is, you wear whatever you want, this isn't a funeral. And then you've like essentially laced me with weed. Yep. So she's really set you up to fail there.
Look, I will defend my mother on a lot of things, but in this story, it's completely her fault. Yeah, she's truly 100%. The villain.
Because like maybe one or the other's fine.
Yeah.
You could be high, but at least you're wearing a suit.
Yeah.
You can be not high and wearing that, but the combination is, who the fuck is this guy?
And then the drinks afterwards, it was just such an English, the whole thing was so, basically it was Vicar of Dibley, the whole thing. It was like village church.
Yeah.
Not reception, what's it called after, is it reception after a funeral where you all go for nibbles and drinks?
I'm not sure.
Kind of. That's a wedding though, isn't it? A wake. A wake.
I guess so, but is that what they call it in?
It's a wake.
Yeah, so the wake was at like a village hall.
Yeah.
Everyone. It was just very like, those kind of like posh English couples where it's like, I don't know, like the wives have sort of dragging around their like tired husbands who look like they've been dressed by their wives. Who have the hair like that.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
yeah, kind of.
You know these guys?
Yeah, but that's more your family. The Irish, it's a bit different. Yeah. We're a Hayward Heath social club. Everyone's pissed at mine.
Yes, my name's Humphrey. And then it's either that type of posh.
That's pretty different to the
There's
girl.
like the posh cark, which is like the kind of the guy who just stares out into the middle. Is what? Sorry, coming, darling. Yes. There's that, or there's the sort of Clarkson posh. There was like a guy with like red trousers there.
Yeah, talking about EU farming laws.
Really not far off.
Yeah.
Really not far off. And it was amazing because it felt like the first time I'd seen a lot of these guys in like 10 years. It was the first time I'd come as like an adult. So I was like, I was hanging out with the men quite a bit because I just wanted that feeling of like, I want you guys as well.
Yeah.
And so there was three of these sort of men, two Clarks, one Jeremy Clarkson, and me. And he started talking in detail about an SAS raid during D-Day.
Was he?
The Pegasus Bridge raid.
That he wasn't part of, obviously.
He wasn't part of, but I think his wife's uncle was part of it.
Right.
But the way he talked about the Pegasus Bridge exhibition was as if we all knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And we did all know what he was talking
really
about.
Entrenched into history.
Yeah, but he just assumed that we all knew details about an SAS raid.
Yeah.
But we did. I knew what that was. So he took a crazy jump, but he got it. Yeah. All three of us knew.
Well, your autism clearly runs in the family. Then it's not crazy, is it? It's not a crazy jump that you're all a bunch of nerds.
Nor you'd be like, do you know about the Pegasus Bridge?
No, but he knows his audience.
He just goes straight.
He knows his audience.
Do you feel that like it kind of, because obviously that could have gone two ways. Was it more one of who's this maverick, emotional, wears his heart on his sleeve guy, or is it like who's this weird man himself?
Kind of... I think maybe slightly the latter. I think it was maybe a bit the latter.
Which adds to the story a lot.
I think what was quite funny is that I guess in most of my relationships, get accused of being the stiff upper lip stoic one. And it was quite funny coming from the people where that kind of came from and being like almost like the Italian blubbering. Emotional. Yeah. It was funny just seeing.
The organ.
It was quite funny just seeing.
In the air.
Oh, Father.
Yeah.
Hallowed be thy name.
It was actually quite nice to be that one for a change, because I'd gone to like stiff upper lip HQ.
Yeah. Well, bit of weed can really loosen things up, can't it?
Hey.
Don't need to tell you that, do I? So for a long time on this podcast, we have discussed John Tickle in his various iterations, including within that is his iconic series on Brainiac called Things That Make You Go, Now, I remember bringing one up.
Do you want the theme tune?
Things That Make You Go.
Do you want me to give you the theme tune before you do it?
Yeah, we could do it. Well, let me just quickly. Yeah. So I remember we've brought one up in the past and realised that this wasn't so much a thing that made us go, but rather the thing that made us go, well, that's what the answer is to that. Which isn't as catchy as Brainiac we're intending. So do the theme tune. So I'll do what we've already discussed.
Things that make you go,
Oh, fuck, I forgot it. Wait. No, you know, well, just like that.
Things that make you go,
Here's one for you. Why are pub car parks always full when you can't drive drunk? Things that make you go,
That's an example of...
Yeah, because people can go to the pub and have a couple of drinks and then go for a meal as well.
Yeah.
But so that got me thinking.
Yeah.
But more, they've just been coming up on my TikTok. And I've just realised more and more that I think we might have been sold a lie in our childhood. Yeah, just go for some of them if there's any... Because I've just realised the majority of them aren't things that make you go,
These needs to be things that make you go, So make sure those...
Well, I've got it up on my phone, if not. But no,
go that.
Well, yeah,
I've got that make you go.
Yeah,
Here's one for you. Why is it called quicksand when it works so slowly?
Well, let me get a compilation up. Look, some of them are moderately legitimate.
Fine.
But I think the vast majority of them, like the car park one, are things that don't make you go, at all.
What do they make you go?
Like, well, that's what the answer is. It doesn't. It's just like everyone is like they like the quicksand. Fine, there's a bit of something in that, I guess. Does that make you go or is that just like a happy accident?
Yeah, it doesn't make me go
If it's 0 degrees today, and it's
Wait, that was actually a legitimate one.
Here's one for you. If we put a comedian in a room full of mirrors, what colour would it turn?
Yeah.
Well, like green. Chameleons are green as a baseline, aren't they?
Do you have a baseline colour? Or is it because they're always on leaves? It's because they're always on leaves, brother.
But what type in what in a room full of mirrors? What? But that just means
because they're always on leaves, brother.
Don't brother me. But it could be. Surely it would just be
what?
Well, what?
Surely it would just be what?
Well, what is? Look, stop. No, but it would be what's in. There's stuff around in the room of mirrors. It's not like a complete circular mirror. It would depend on its mood and what perceives in its reflection. That's kind of it, because it might see itself in its reflection, then just turn whatever colour it was when it was.
So it was whatever colour it was.
But that was an alright one.
Oh, that's alright.
Here's one for you. If identical twin brothers married identical twin sisters, would their children be identical?
No, not necessarily. If identical twin brothers married identical twin sisters, would their children be identical? No. I'm not, because I'm not. If I don't have a brother. But I'm not identical. If I did, I wouldn't be identical to him unless he was a twin. That just doesn't make any sense.
It sort of comes from the school of what came first, chicken and egg.
Yeah, it's just like, but it's
the egg.
It's nonsense. Yeah. Well, yeah. We've had this debate before.
I mean, all the time. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
The egg.
Well, look, so they'll be very genetically similar, of course, but it's not the same thing.
But legally, they're cousins.
Legally, they're cousins. Yeah, that's the interesting one. But
that was what makes you go,
Yeah. Because they're actually cousins. But do you know what I mean?
You got some other ones.
Here you go. Here's another one. This isn't Tickle, but...
Things that make you go.
Here's one for you. Why do we call it rush hour when nothing moves?
Because everyone's in a rush to get to work and back from work.
Done.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like the majority of things that make you go have genuine easy answers.
I think what you're saying is completely right. I guess it's quite funny to like satirically lampoon a show that ended 20 years.
Exactly. But no, it's more the thing that I'm
like, what are you even doing? Like, no one's watching this.
Well, no, but that's the thing I'm frustrated about. And I know it's a children's show, which makes it, I guess you can allow some ridiculousness within there. But what they were doing is lying to us. These aren't things that make us go, These are things that have an answer.
Yeah.
And these are they were posing. It's an iconic thing, no? You don't have any emotions towards this whatsoever.
No, I do. I do have some emotions to it. It makes me go,
So you're saying the things that make you go, is the thing that actually makes you go,
Yeah, well, your point about that makes me go, that's one.
All right, so I'm actually doing things that make you go,
Exactly.
I feel like some of them are like bad puns. That quicksand, the rush hour one and the quicksand one is almost like...
Yeah.
It's almost like word.
Well, they're just like, they're poor riddles.
Now, John Tickle...
But it's meant to be a science show.
John Tickle's Twitter, his bio is feminist, information architect, and TV's John Tickle. Now, I think it's a huge red flag to have feminist in your bio if you're
obviously.
a man.
Especially look at his profile
Are you a rapist?
Look at his profile picture.
You can't. Why are you leading with feminist in your... Like, what are you...
That's not a feminist.
What are you...
That's not a feminist. Look at him.
That is amazing, writing feminist as your first thing.
I've been in an argument with my girlfriend for a month. This is because of a proposed... I'm not going to say my side of the story or what my opinion is on it. We'll get a whip round of it and see what everyone's thoughts are.
Sure.
I believe there is a right answer.
As you often do.
As I often do. So one of us, in normal conversation, has pitched the slogan, live a little, for Lidl supermarkets. The idea being to market at rich people-ish, and, well, kind of, and then to try and get them into the store because they're snobs who won't necessarily want to shop at Lidl. So you can go, come on, look, we've got low prices and the food's actually fine. Live a little. The other person said that that's nonsense because it goes against the whole core brand of what Lidl is.
Which is?
You want to go to a supermarket, a little supermarket, to save money on your weekly shop and not have any surprises. You don't want...
okay.
You don't... I would... one of us...
What's the surprise in this
prices. One of us would say... of us would say that might work for Waitrose. You can say, like, for like a posh meal deal. You know those evening dinner time meal deals they have?
Yeah.
And it could be like, go on, spend a bit more on that. Live a little. That's what live a little means, is what this person would say. Live a little means to take some risks, go out there, enjoy, and that could be maybe spend a bit more money, live a little, which is the opposite of what Lidl's branding is, right? That's what one person says. The other person says that that's nonsense and live a little would work because you're saying a rich person can then, come in.
I'm weirdly, I kind of agree with both people.
Right.
So I agree with
disaster.
I agree. Live a little is a great slogan. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Live a little. It's just it sounds great.
Now the other person would say, obviously they've thought this. Obviously the Lidl's marketing team has thought this, and the other person believes that they haven't thought it. And there you go, it's all out. If she posted that somewhere, they pick it up because it's genius. Yeah, it's a pun. Of course they thought of it.
I think it's good. I do think that live a little, as content-wise, doesn't chime with the brand. I think they should still have it. I don't think it's going to chime with the brand as that other person with the small knob.
Yeah. And the big balls. Come on. Let's be fair with him. Them person. We don't know who we're talking about at this point. You. What?
I don't think a rich person with their kind of monocle and top hat is going around riding with a horse and carriage. And then it's like, should I go,
darling.
Yeah. And then we can't go in there. That's for commoners. That's for poor people. And then they say live a little. And it's like, let's live a little bit. Let's get cheap.
Let's get
groceries.
Cheap. Exactly.
That's
it doesn't
not living
make sense.
a little at
That's
all.
not what living a little means.
It would work better for Waitrose, but even that, I think Waitrose is too classy a brand.
Exactly.
It's a bit slutty.
It's slutty and it doesn't work, and they've obviously thought of it, and that's why they haven't.
It's like you wouldn't have Rolex live a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Which would work for Lidl's actual brand to have that. It's like a supermarket slogan. I mean, Tesco did every little helps.
Asda. What's it? It's just
it's
just
tap,
Asda
tap.
price.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Asda price. Bing, bing.
Yeah.
But the whole point about live a little way, it's an easy pun, and nor is it that an imaginative one. And it doesn't work for the core brand. So
do you want to reveal who you were?
Let's reveal who it was. I was the critic, and Elle was the person suggesting that this is going to be the best slogan that Lidl have ever
I kind of
had.
agree. I think it's a great slogan. Not for the reason
It doesn't work. Well, why is it a good slogan? It's a good pun.
Yeah.
It's not a good slogan because it doesn't work for their brand.
Live
People don't want to go to Lidl to live a little. They want to go to Lidl to have cheap fucking veg. And they want to be able to buy chips for a reasonable price. They don't want to live a little. They want to be able to go in there and not have any surprises on prices or average quality of food.
I don't think you need to worry about the rich poor thing because Lidl, you could do live a little because they've just got mad shit in Lidl. For example, Lurpak that's called like Kiplau or whatever.
Yeah,
and you've got you got all these mad.
And that's
so it's like living a little. You're living a little even if you're poor or if you're rich because they've just got such mad.
But then that will be live a little. So live a little. Come and have knockoff brand stuff. I don't think that's living a little.
But also just come and have some kind of weird, complicated water dispenser that's shaped in a sort of lovely triangle. Like
I think the message is getting convoluted at this point.
No, because you are living a little because you're trying out new stuff that neither poor nor rich has ever seen in their lives.
But again, Lidl's brand isn't that it's got lots of world exotic foods. It's that it's a cheap supermarket.
What about live a lod?
Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Finally. Now, what the fuck does that mean?
So I guess live a lot would actually work with their brand a bit more because it'd be about cheap produce, live a lot. It's about life. But live a Lidl. Shop at Lidl.
Awful, yeah. The way that I said it could work, if they framed it as in live a little, meaning don't spend too much on your supermarket shopping so you can go and bungee jump on the weekend. That's how you live a little. That's how you do it. But that's not the point she's trying to make. And she wants it to be that it's, trying to get rich people to live a little by buying cheap rice. That's not what live a little is.
That's nonsense. But
it is.
The pun is great.
The pun is great, but it's also, it's page 1 of Lidl's marketing strategy. Live a little. Are you kidding? Of course they thought of that. Yeah. I would genuinely bet my life on that. There's a few things I'd truly bet my life on. And it's that the Lidl marketing team has thought of the phrase live a little. And they've said it doesn't actually work.
Should we get some little puns that it could work? What about hello, little fella?
Yep.
Come get some
chips from us. See? Not hard.
Hello, little man. What, you got any other ones?
Well, annoyingly, I'm just thinking of every little helps or
blow the Lidl off. About
blow the Lidl off.
Pots of gherkins. And
they've got
pots of gherkins.
Did you know they had a slogan?
Big on quality, little on price.
Oh, so what? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But again, but the whole thing is about. Oh, so yeah, I hadn't even thought of that for this. But yeah, little on price is literally they're using it as little on price. Now they're suggesting that you should be living life to the fullest by.
Yeah, now that they're using little as little and to it's not good.
Live a little. No, look, it works well, but it's just it's a pun and it's meaningless. And I came here to sort that.
Phrases including little.
A little bird told me.
That's okay. A little bird told me about all the great prices that they have. Yeah, that's good.
Big fish eat little fish, so it's like flattering all their customers.
Well, that could be if Tesco's are doing an aggressive takeover of them in some of their territories.
Well, it doesn't have to be their main slogan, but it can be used.
It could be on the side.
It could be,
Don't trouble your pretty
little head about it. That's not going to go down. Well, that could be someone going in confused about how to buy groceries.
Dream a little dream of you.
Dream a little dream of you.
What's that song?
I shine right above you. I love you. Dream a little dream of me.
It would be dream a little dream of you in the ad, wouldn't it?
And what are they dreaming of? Something within Lidl.
It would be like a really well-priced red wine. Because they have a great wine selection.
I Spy with My Little Eye. That's good.
I Spy with My Little Eye. Great.
Do you know
prices.
what I mean? So live a little is now looking less impressive.
Yeah, it's true. No, you're right. Say a little prayer.
Say a little prayer.
Say a little prayer for cheap ham.
Yeah.
Every moment I wake up.
Apparently,
just before I put on my makeup.
Apparently, Little Hitler is just a phrase in its own right.
Well, that's when there's a little fucking cunt over there. Look at this fucking little Hitler.
Look at that little Hitler. Yeah. Little devil. Little devil. Little gentleman, have yourself a merry little Christmas. If they haven't done that, then they're insane.
Come on! Yeah, that's brilliant.
Again, see, that works.
Yeah.
See, what she's done is come up with them more she's my gripe for the week.
Yeah.
She's come up with an average pun and then try to tailor it to, look, if it was Waitrose, it would work. But it's not.
It's not Waitrose.
It's not.
It isn't.
After talking about Al Pacino and his fathering techniques, you were right. So I don't think you were right because of all the information you necessarily had, but apparently he basically spends absolutely no time with him.
Yeah.
And then says that he just
I know a good father.
The problem is that Charlie wasn't saying this. It was just off the back of, what was it? That he said that being a father is fun.
Yeah.
But apparently he just texts him every now and again and isn't actually spending any time with him.
Yeah.
So this hatred that you have for Al Pacino's fathering techniques does seem to be legit.
I think, how does that reflect on the Shrek phone case? You know, does that reflects poorly on the Shrek phone case?
Did he say he had the Shrek phone case to like amuse his child?
No.
So I think it's either he's that distant a father.
That he's amusing himself with childish things.
He's amusing himself before he's amusing his kids with Shrek.
I mean, he is a little Pacino. No, it doesn't work. Sorry.
No.
He's got a book out. He's got his autobiographies out.
Is it?
Yeah, let's find out what that is. So all this is probably part of a PR campaign, I guess. Sonny boy. But yeah, young Pacino and old Pacino is a very different vibe. Young Pacino, iconic. Old Pacino.
Young Pacino. Sounds like a pasta.
Can I have a small young Pacino, please?
Yeah, or what are you seeing as that? I'm seeing a pasta.
Oh, I'm seeing a coffee.
A coffee?
Like a cappuccino.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
The amount of contempt. If I was his son and he never saw me and he tried to like show me his little Shrek case.
You'd lap it up.
No, I would take a stand.
We've done similar things to you.
No, you'd become 16 years old and then you reflect on it and you'd take a stand by the time he's dead because he's 98 years old. But at the time, you'd be like, Dada, you fucking little bitch. You'd be like, I never see you, Dada, please.
No, I would take a stand.
You're Daddy. You're pathetic. I don't even think this child is 1 year. He's not even one, isn't he? He's a certain amount of months.
He's barely even one.
And he's furious. This is not on.
You're never home.
Yeah. Which means you also can't text him either. But that's it's been an episode full of apologies.
Yeah. Thanks very much for listening, guys. Let's end on a nice note. Do you want to round up what we talked about in a lovely little poem?
Yeah.
Liam Payne.
Yeah. Oh God! Well, this is gonna be disrespectful.
A writer at work. Look at him scribbling away something genius.
There was a man who had a pan and went to
was a fish who ate a dish.
I'm not going to do Liam Payne because I'm going to say something horrible accidentally.
I think we want to.
I think we don't want to hear that.
I think we want to hear him do Liam Payne.
Okay, I'll do a bit. We might not all be going in one direction.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
We might not all be going in one. No, that's the end of the Liam Payne.
Fine.
See, it's actually quite tasteful. We might not all be going in one direction, but what else have we talked? Okay, we might not be all going in one direction, but our divergent journeys don't mean that we can't share a commonality in our human spirit. Instead of looking at something different to us, don't go, go, ah.
See you on the Patreon. Bye-bye.